Hi and welcome to ThriverTV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. So today's episode of ThriverTV is a very important episode because it's one which can be so confusing with people that are suffering narcissistic abuse. And it's called, Is the Narcissist Capable of Loving? And for many people that have been narcissistically abused, they've experienced with narcissists that they can appear to be incredibly kind and loving and giving, and they go beyond the call of duty and they can be incredibly selfless. But yet there are narcissistic bouts. There are things that happen occasionally, which generally becomes more regularly, that just are horrendous, and people can easily default back to, but this person can't be a narcissist because they're so caring and they're so loving. And you know, when narcissists, when the masks drop, aren't they just meant to get worse and worse and worse and worse? And also too, these types of narcissists can have a high standing in the community. They can do really benevolent acts and be involved in charity work, or you know, giving of their time and their efforts and their resources to help others, and that can just be so confusing. Sam Vaknin originally coined the phrase altruistic narcissist. And back in 2013, I wrote an extensive article about this type of narcissist. And at the time when I wrote that article, I was inundated from the community by people responding to the article and emailing me and saying, oh my goodness, thank goodness that you wrote this, because my head was spinning trying to work this person out. I didn't think they were a narcissist, but now I understand what's going on. And that's really why I wanted to do this episode, to help people as much as I can understand that narcissism is narcissism, and we really need to work backwards here and start right from that point, that narcissistic behaviour, we need to understand what it is. And what it is, it's pathological lying. It's things like taking umbrage at slights that mature adults just don't get upset about. It's also about not being accountable for horrendous behaviour despite the results of that behaviour. And narcissists can, down the track, they can in narcissistic injury, or they can feign remorse and sorries and promise the world in order to hook back up narcissistic supply. But what I'm talking about is that sort of behaviour that's just insane behaviour, and just being clueless to being accountable for it or taking any responsibility for it. And also too, with narcissists, when you're trying to push accountability or they're under scrutiny, that's when they'll project and deflect and use all sorts of tactics and processes to spin and turn things around. And you literally feel like in argument or in conversation at those times that your head's going to explode, that you're dealing with an angry 5-year-old in an adult's body that is just using any and every out-of-bound behaviour to twist and turn the facts. And also too, with narcissists, is that there's malicious behaviour. There's reactions to things that just don't fit the crime. So a narcissist will have emotionally blown out of proportion so much of what they assumed you did to them, and then hit back with a tit for tat, you know, vengeful behaviour that's just so soul destroying. And these are all trademarks of a narcissist, altruistic narcissist or not. So what we really have to understand is, because it's very, very easy for us, and I used to do it too, for us to justify and say, well, this person is so loving and so wonderful, and you know, and therefore that's why I'm with this person. And we have to understand that if we're still wounded children in adult bodies, if we haven't cleaned up our original wounding, we will justify it, and we will make excuses for it, and we will stay hooked into it. And because the truth is we're accepting a level of behaviour that matches, you know, our original wounding and how we actually feel about ourselves until we're self-partnered and we've healed beyond that stuff. Because the truth is we will never accept behaviour less than how we really love and feel about ourselves. And there are many people that have been involved with loving and caring narcissists, and then when the atrocious behaviour has happened, they're very clear that is not okay. I'm not going to be with that behaviour. I'm not going to stay with it. I'll detach and walk away, because I'm enough of a source of my own love, approval and security in order to do that. The only reason we don't ever walk away is when we're not as yet at that healthy level of love, approval and security to ourselves. So we have to get very clear that atrocious behaviour is pathological behaviour. It's behaviour that's not well, and there's been a crossing of the line from human into an ability to demonize others and to absolutely devastate humanity. And that's a sickness. And that sickness never changes. That sickness never heals unless the person that's performing that level of sickness is going to confront their original traumas that are causing them to act out in such a maladapted way. If they're never going to own, claim, address and heal their childhood traumas, that is never going to stop. And this is exactly the case with the altruistic narcissist, as it is with every other narcissist. So with these narcissists, it's really normal to understand that in society's eyes, they could be wonderful, incredible person that's just giving, and you know, why are they doing that? And the reason they're doing that is because this is such a wonderful way to get narcissistic supply. And narcissistic supply is acclaim, recognition, significance. So being the great woman or the great man is going to yield a lot of narcissistic supply for an altruistic narcissist. And you know, really this is the mark of a con man and a con woman. However, you know, what we would think about our normal criminal sociopath is, you know, they're doing it for money, or they're doing it for well, usually money, you know, that sort of thing. But really what we've got here with narcissists, you know, money is just a tool. Money and power are just tools to get significance, to get acclaim, to get approval, to get attention. You know, that's the drug of choice, is narcissistic supply. So, you know, money and resources can all come with that. But with an altruistic narcissist, it may not even necessarily be about that. It's just like, you know, I want everybody to think that I am just fantastic. That's awesome narcissistic supply. So that type of narcissist, we can understand, could appear as street angel, home devil, whereas they get home and in the four walls, they're just a horror. And then, you know, out in public, they're all wonderful, and there are narcissists like this. And what's tricky about the altruistic narcissist, the true altruistic narcissist, is they can even be wonderful and beautiful to the partner in between narcissistic, insane bouts of just outrageous, abusive, malicious behaviour. And this is so confusing for partners. And we could say, well, why would they bother? Why are they even doing that when they can get narcissistic supply out in the field and don't even really need it from their partner? And if their partner's hooked and addicted to them, they're going to stay anyway. But what the altruistic narcissist is doing is wielding power through giving. And how that plays out is it creates dependencies with partners. So if a narcissist is taking over areas of their life, playing the parent, and the partner is not solid in their own levels of love, approval and or security, the narcissist can come in there and say, well, look at me. I'm now going to look after that for you. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to be that person. Even if it's just, a mass of compliments. You're so gorgeous, you're so wonderful, you're so, and it creates a symbiosis where the partner can fall into this symbiotic relationship of thinking, well, I can't survive without this person, or, life's going to be so empty and dead without this person providing all of this, whatever it is for me. So that is one way to ensure narcissistic supply, is to create dependencies. And altruistic narcissists are very skilled at doing that. And then the other thing is about the look at what I do for you, the guilt trip. Look at what I do and I give for you, and therefore you need to do this. And that's a way of controlling partners and giving them to hand over whatever the narcissist wants them to hand over at that time, whether it be sex or money, attention, whatever it might be. And then the other thing is it's an isolation tactic, because if family and friends and the community at large think that this person is so wonderful because the narcissist is so skilled at being the most devoted, perfect partner in public, well, then people will think, well, you're just a really ungrateful husband and wife for not for complaining about this person. I'd love to have this person as my partner. So that can be terribly isolating for the partner of an altruistic narcissist. I have seen, so in the years that I've been helping people recover from narcissistic abuse, some of the most shattered cases of people that I've ever seen have been ones that were partnered up with altruistic narcissists. And the reason being is because they have so much of this dependency on this person. They've believed that they're really loved and adored apart from the just horrendous behaviour that happens. They've been devastated when they thought, this person really loved me and really looked after me, and then, when the narcissistic bouts start and they end up finding out about the pathological lies or about the other partners, people that the narcissist is having sex with behind their back, or there's those malicious, cruel blowouts that are just so cruel in their deliveries. Those people are just devastated. And also too, with this narcissist, no different to any other narcissist, when the partner's resources have dried up, or there's no more narcissistic supply to have, or the partner's just too damaged to be around for the narcissist anymore, the narcissist will devalue and discard and leave for better supplies of better narcissistic supply. So that's just devastating for people, because they might have been doing a dance with an altruistic narcissist for years, and then that can and will eventually happen. So it's really important to know that these narcissists exist, and that there is the ability for narcissists to be giving and caring and loving and go beyond the call of duty. But we have to understand, with people that can act out narcissistic behaviour, which is, it's not normal. You've got to get that. It's not normal. Non-narcissistic people can have moments. We can all be in our ego or our she-go and have a young childhood wound triggered where we're not putting our best foot forward, and we can, you know, be unreasonable. But the difference is that there's a limit to where that will go. And there's also the ability for non-narcissistic people, especially ones that have done their own development, to say, look, I'm really, really sorry. You know, that was my stuff. I was really out of bounds, and, you know, I'm so sorry. And to do it really quite reasonably and quickly. And non-narcissistic people can't even fathom the things that narcissists can plot and deliver. They can't even fathom it, let alone do it. And you really need to understand there's a profound difference between a bit of unconscious behaviour and pathological unconsciousness. They're just universes apart. And with, you know, the altruistic narcissist, there's such a cycle of violence that's going on there. And the altruistic narcissist is actually very good at doing it. And the cycle of violence goes like this, that everything's wonderful, then tension builds, then the blow up happens, then the separation happens, you know, even if only emotionally, not physically. Then the get back together happens. Everything wonderful happens, tension builds again, the event blow up happens, the separation happens, the get back together happens, everything's wonderful. So the altruistic narcissist, you know, with being charming and giving and caretaking and, you know, I just really ripped you to pieces, now I want to love you back to health. It's that sort of stuff. You know, what can I do for you? Can I run you a bath? Can I get you to this healer? Can I go and buy the groceries for you? Can I, you know, it's a trap, and it's a very, very dangerous trap. And there is a huge price to pay if you are stuck in this trap. You know, you're going to have your soul devastated. So for people that are listening, if you're listening to this and this is really resonating with you, I cannot tell you enough that you need to get clear and then pull back and work on your original traumas, which are allowing you to be in these cycles of violence, so that you can clean them up and transcend beyond all of this, because otherwise it's going to destroy you. So I really hope that's helped, and if you enjoy my videos, I would love you to like and share and comment, and also subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't as yet, access my free resources, which is all about the really deeper quantum understandings of how to heal this, including what you might be going through with an altruistic narcissist. And also there's a fair bit in my sequence all about this type of narcissist. You can do that by clicking the button that appears on this video. And also too, I would love you to come into my next 3 keys to thriving after narcissistic abuse 3-hour teleclass, where you will get to work on accessing, claiming, and really finding these wounds in your energy field to be able to release them and free yourself from them and evolve yourself beyond narcissistic abuse. So that's it from me until the next episode. And keep smiling and keep healing and keep thriving, because there is nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.